A relatively quiet day in today's trading session. Some consolidation was, I think, much needed and par for course given how steep the run up in the markets has been of late. So, quiet consolidation, although we started off with a downtick of about almost 0.5%, and that downtick as well got covered in two. We finally closed in absolutely flat for ourselves, just circling around that 15,750 odd level on the Nifty Futures. It's been a flat day. And not just a flat day for the benchmark indexes, but even for the broader markets. Although they started off a lot worse, but then that picture as well got improved and we closed in pretty much neck and neck, the advanced decline ratio. And you had 75 F&O stocks standing to the declines, just a slim margin or majority in favor of the advanced hands. Sectorally, the picture was pretty, split and divided. While you had IT on one hand, which was gaining ground, as were specialty chemicals from amongst the mid and the small cap universe. On the flip side, the pressure from metals as well as private banks, that is what kept the markets at bay. And it was a bit of a tug of war between these two pockets, IT on one hand and metals and banks on the other, private banks that is. So let's talk about the losers first, because you had a Hindalco which dragged about almost 2%. Nalco was a big drag point, was down about 2.5% there as well. You had NMDC2 down about almost 2.5% in trade. Tata Steel slipped by about 1.5% too. JSW Steel as well saw a red tick of about 1.3%. And as was the case with private banks, dragged lower by ICICI Bank today. You also had a Kotak which slipped about 1.25%. HDFC Bank was down 1.25%. Even SBI was dragging by about 1% or so. And the big one, which really gave a good leg up to the markets the last week, that's Reliance. That also paused a little bit. In fact, the stock closed a little bit soft, was down about almost 0.7%, so pretty much closing around the lows of the day. Now to the gainers in trade, and on the flip side, you had some solid moves come in for the entire IT pack. So be it in HCL Technologies, Tech Mahindra, Infosys, TCS, these are all stocks which held out smartly. Even from amongst the mid-cap IT end of the markets, you had some very good moves come in. That said, you also had strength across the specialty chemical space, like I was mentioning earlier. So Naveen Fluorine shot up about 6.25%. You had a PI Industries looked very smart. You had an SRF as well, which held out very smartly. And add to that some of the other movers from the liquid universe, like a Piramal Enterprises, a Pfizer. These were also gainers. From amongst the large caps, besides IT, you also had strength come in for Tata Motors. That was the top mover on the index today with a 3% dash up. And Bharti as well saw a decent move. A 2% gain is what that stock saw. 550 is what it's finally climbed up to.